Now, I'm here with another long-time resident here of Harrison's Place, Joe Cole. And Joe, I suppose the first thing we'll get out of the way anyway with you, you'll be well recognised around not just Charleville and Cork, but in the country. For what?
Well, I'm kind of a fair good supporter of Cork and Charleville.
Yeah.
And I do a bit of dressing up and I go to the matches as much as we can.
That's right.
But now we're stopped from going to them. We can't go, but we have to wait.
Yeah.
We will be back anyway.
Yeah, we'll be back. Yeah.
No doubt about
that. And again, you'd have been pictured in lots of places. Because you're pictured to be on the Old Examiner, to be on the TV or anything. Yeah.
Near enough, yeah.
Yeah. And you two good buddies above in Cork there. I think one of them passed away there recently.
He did,
right?
Last year, about 2 days last week.
Yeah.
Janty.
Yeah.
Janty Timmy O'Leary was his name.
Timmy O'Leary, that's right.
He was very good. Good chap to go to matches.
Yeah.
Went to a lot of them, going for 50 years or 60 years nearly me, because he's older than me, like.
Yeah.
But I'm going, I suppose, about 55, 56 or 7 years, you know.
But you used to have good old banter.
Yeah, we would. We would. But Cyril is the man like to want to be seen mostly, you know. But I bought one of them sombrero caps, but I couldn't get it in the gate, so I took it off and didn't wear it no more. You know, I didn't bother with it anymore.
Yeah.
No, tis hard with the virus and the matches and all the children and everything that's been left out to play. No, but tis on the good side now, I think.
That's right,
you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
At least we've hurling back now. We've hurling back on today.
We have with the help of God, and kicking a bit of football later on now.
That's
and
right.
You know.
Right.
So,
now, tell me, what's your first connection here with the land?
Well, I was born here.
Yeah.
And my grandfather and my grandmother were here. My grandfather was in the war.
Yes.
Then Costello was his name.
Right.
And my grandmother was Hannah Costello, and then my mother was May Costello.
Right.
So we were in the house. They were in the house. Then my father from Buttevant married my mother, and they were here. We lived here, the three of us. Well, there was three of us in the family, my sister and my brother. But they went off to England very early in the time. Yeah. My uncle took my brother and my aunt took my sister. Yeah. And times were tough and whatever. But I was here.
The same house.
The same house, yes. Yes, the barn, there was a big exchange put on here.
Yes.
I put on that here and I came. But up until then, when I got married, I was reared here. Yeah. I got married in 1966. Yeah. So I moved out, and I once said that I just moved out and got accommodation myself. Yeah. But we lived, myself and my own Mr. Nelly, above in Declan Brazel's house now, which was Kate Carty's that time.
Right.
So we're in
the
corner for 4.5 years with 2 babies and no water, no toilet and all that. But then we got great news when we got a house in Kennedy Place. Yeah. And we moved over there. We were 8 years there. We moved back up here then in 79. Well, 78, 79, when I done up the house. My mother died in 77, my father died before that. So we're back in here then, and then Adrian, my son here, and my son below, Kieran. So we decided we'd build a house down the field, Kieran and myself. So we moved down the field, and then Kieran stayed in the house for a while till he went to Australia and came back, and the house changed hands again to Adrian, which is living there now. So that'll be now the fourth generation.
That's great. But going back to your grandfather's time, I know all the houses, they all had an acre of ground, is that right?
1 acre from here.
And initially, I suppose the reason would have been that the people would be self-sufficient in a way.
You could look after yourself,
And did a lot of people back then, did they grow a lot of their own stuff?
They did. The best two I remember was next door with Denny Kilhan, up the road as we were Mick Farrell, dug the garden, every bit of it. My grandfather used to dig this garden. And my father done it as well. But he was in the war with the man next door, Denny Kilhan. And he survived the war, and they came home and they got the houses. And they decided which one they'd like, looking up or looking down. There was no row, there was no fight. But my grandfather passed away then, even survived the war, but he went into Fermoy to get out his teeth. And he came out, he died at 39 years of age. So that was the end of that. I never saw him. And I saw my grandmother, right, she was here in the house. But other than that, then we're living here since, so. And great.
Tell me, do you know, we'd say like these houses, we know they were kind of generally built for people coming back from the war. Do you have any idea who
the British Legion.
The British Legion,
yes.
Right, And of course, you had a British Legion Hall here then as well?
Yes, that was over the other side.
And on the other side.
That was for all the meetings and that.
Yeah.
But the main person here about Donny would be able to tell you was Bernie Toohey, Bernie Kavanagh. Was Toohey's above here.
Yes.
They were the main organisers of the British Legion getting the houses, getting the houses for the people. So we had to pay. I think it was £250 for the house if you bought it out. But that time you could only buy it if you were related to the person, the grandfather or whatever.
Yes.
So
and you had to qualify.
You had to qualify then, Jim. Paudie, You had to qualify then. But as it grew on, then the children were building the houses and they would come back and everything like that, you know. But up to that, you had to qualify. Yes. But then the person, their child, their son or their daughter, was able to do it, you know.
Right. Yeah. And you could say, like families though, from when you were young that you remember from long ago, can you recall some of the original families that were around here at the time? Yeah,
well, Driscoll's was below there, but there was, children were older that there, and Bill Gore was the man over here. He was the first man to have a radio. We used to have to go over to him at night and listen to the fight about my father. And Callahan's was next door, and the lady next door used to always go over to Danny Ford and Donny's mother for to look at listen to the radio and have the electric light because she never got in the light and that, you know. But the main part of the land here was the house below it, Ray's we call it. I won't delay you too long now. But it was down in that yard, all the stuff was made for these houses. And the contract to build that big house below Ray's. But he put different slates and associated different. But the track was up through the road here. That became the double ditch above here. They went right up into Connors and Larry's. And they was bringing all the stuff up here, as I'm told from my mother and then hailing that. And they only had dates, but I have the date is that they were started in 1920 and they were finishing giving out in 22. Now that could vary a bit or whatever. But this is what happened with the place up here. And I said that a lot of people, but it didn't any happen, is that I'd say we're the only housing estate in Ireland that having the footpath outside one of the houses' doors, you know, in the whole place. But anyway, we asked about it and then they said the road is too narrow. And all, but what I would say, I'm most pleased to be able to live in this place for the length of time I'll be here, plus that my family can live on from thereafter, you know.
And you say, and it's great in a community like that where the houses are being passed down from generation to generation and the grandkids are coming on and they're all getting the witness.
No matter who comes in here, they're a new relation.
Yes.
It's great altogether.
And of course there has been a lot of new housing built over the past couple of years.
But
that's okay too, you know.
There's plenty of room, but then it might be difficult now to get planning because of the amount of houses, you know, and the road as you know, it goes round the ring. And Donny was saying about up at the top of the field, there was 6 houses inside the back of Jory Bryan's now. That the trouble with them, there were 6 with my grandfather, there were 6 from Mallow in the war. And they said, why couldn't we live in Mallow instead of living in Charleville? So they took him to Mallow out under the 10 arches and up there on the right hand side.
Well, Joe, it's been great talking with you and full of history and full of knowledge.
And keep the faith and up Cork.
And up Cork.
And Cork forever.
Come on, Joe. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Paudie.
Bye-bye.